All right, everybody, welcome to this Tube on AI tutorial and also review. Many of you have seen the Tube on AI review that I did, the initial Tube on AI review that I did. And so I wanted to follow this up with a tutorial to sort of walk you through this particular tool and to show you how to use this tool. And I have written down or a little checkbox, a checklist of things that we're going to be going through in this particular video. And so this should help you to sort of better understand the product. And we're going to walk through this together. And that way we can get a better understanding of the product. And then that way you could use it to its most efficiency. Okay. Now, let's go to the website really quick. TubeOnAI is a repurposing tool that allows you to take any of your content, your PDFs, your blogs, your YouTube videos. You can turn all of these things into a myriad of things to sort of help you in your business. Okay. So what this is actually going to do is this is going to take you from just being somebody who, creates content to being a lot more efficient with that content. Now, let me explain to you as somebody who is building an online business and use all of these tools. One of the things that you will get overwhelmed with a lot of times is a workflow. How do you use all of these things in your business in order for you to make sure that you're maximizing what you're trying to do and to ensure the fact that you're being most efficient? And for 2026, what I tell all of my students, especially those of you that are in the Digital Learn Academy, this year I have been all about profit and bringing money into your business to take care of all of your subscriptions, all of the things that we have to pay for. And so it has become important for us to be able to scale our business, to understand our businesses, and to use the tools that we have at our disposal to expand ourselves. And so this is exactly what this tutorial, and this is the reason why I'm making this tutorial for you guys. Now, if you did not have an opportunity to watch my review video on TubeOnAI, I'm going to put a link somewhere up here, a card, and you can come back and watch that, or and you can go watch the review and then come back and watch this tutorial. But I promise you, I'm going to give you a whole lot of things that you're not going to find and a breakdown of this product. Not only that, I'm also going to give you a use case scenario. If you are a YouTuber, if you're somebody who creates content on a consistent basis, I'm going to show you how to take this particular tool, use this tool to sort of help you to be able to talk about a myriad of subjects, have a lot of trending topics and things that come into play. And so it's going to be a great way for you to grow your brand, to grow your platform, et cetera, et cetera. All right. So they also have Google app that is available. They also have in the Play Store, you can also download that and get that on your phone. Now, why is that so important to have an AI app on your phone? It's important because when you're on the go or you're coming up with ideas, or maybe you're, just doing something in the doctor's office and you come up with an idea, or you find an article or something that you like, well, you can send that over to TubeOnAI and have that to create some show notes and some things for you and make those show notes for you in a more succinct fashion. And a lot of people say, well, Marcellus, why should I get this versus or use this versus ChatGPT? Now, here's one of the reasons. One of the biggest major reasons for me is organization. If you're familiar with ChatGPT, you have to typically go to that side panel and you've got to look for your previous chats and the things that you've done. But here you can actually just come in here and you can organize these things and put these things into folders and all sorts of things, maybe create a project folder for yourself. And so it makes it a whole lot easier for you to use the product, if that makes sense to you. Okay. And so that's one of the reasons, one of the huge reasons for doing that. So it's going to give you podcast summaries. It's going to give you all sorts of things to sort of help you in your business. And so the only thing that you have to focus on is really creating the content and being consistent with the content. Now, I have something called the Digital Learn Academy, where I teach my students every Saturday how to use a lot of these products and these LTD products to sort of make money in their business and how to become more efficient in that business. We have something that we do call office hours every Saturday, where we come together as a community and we discuss these products and we actually go over the different different use cases of the product. And I'll put a link down in the description below, and you can come over and join us, and that'll give you all the information on how you can do that. Now, let's go ahead and get into this now. All right. So you're going to be able to get audio summaries of all sorts of things, even if you have some of your favorite creators. And I'm going to take you through this process with me, and we're going to add some people onto my account, and I'm going to let you see me add those individuals into this account. And so that you can summarize YouTube, podcasts, web articles, PDFs, Google Slides, all sorts of things. You can get these translated into a multiple languages as well. You can also get audio summaries. You can actually have TubeOnAI read back to you the summaries. Now, somebody said, now, why is that good? Well, if you are working or you have a myriad of things that you have to do throughout the course of the day, you can actually have that playing in the background to read to you the summaries and to give you the ideas that you're looking for. Okay. And so it's just going to tell you guys, you have a whole host of things that you can use with this particular product. Okay. You can do blog posts. You can come up with a YouTube Shorts script. Okay. Facebook posts, Twitter thread, LinkedIn content, PDF mind map. Now, one of the things that I'm getting ready to start doing is more YouTube shorts that are more concise and bullet pointed, where I only focus on one particular thing in that one particular YouTube short. And so this is going to be a great way for you to learn how to do that. And inside of our digital community, I'm going to be walking my team and my folks through that. Okay. You can do an email newsletter. So you can do a myriad of things with this. Okay. So this is just to give you a general idea of this particular product. Now, what I want to do is go ahead and log into the product. What we're going to do is we're going to walk through it, and I'm going to show you, and we're going to go all through it. Now, I've got some notes here. Okay, so we visited, we're going to go through the home page. We're going to go through all of this checklist. And so now this is going to be a little bit of a longer tutorial for you guys, but I want you guys to just stick with me because I want to walk you through this entire product. Okay, so let's go through this. All right, now when you guys log into the product, this is your home page, okay? You're gonna see all your toolbar here where you can go through like your home feed, your feed, channels, collections, the settings, the support, as well as you want to give some type of feedback, okay? Now, I want you guys to see here up at the top, you have a search YouTube or paste any YouTube URL. So you could paste a public URL here to start you off if that is something that you wanted to do. Okay, you can do that from here. All right. Now I want you to look from your homepage where you can kick things off. You can start with a YouTube video, an Instagram reel, TikTok videos, Facebook, X, podcast, PDF, an article or a blog, or you can go into your Google Drive. You can also do a Pinterest video, Threads video, Snapchat video, an audio file, video file, image. I believe this is a PowerPoint, text, as well as others. Okay. Now you can come here and upload and paste any link to a video file from here. Okay. All right. Now it's going to give you some recent summaries here. If you have any collections that you've done, you can create collections by organizing your summaries by topics, projects, or interests. And that's what I mentioned to you earlier before. And you can also create subscribe channels. Okay. Now you can sync this with YouTube, and that way you can actually have some stuff on there for yourself as well. Okay. Now, I think I logged in under the wrong account. So let me pause this and let me go back and log in under the right account. All right, now I was actually in the right account. So I went to go log into the other account and it just gave me 400 credits. So I think if you create a free account, you get like 400 credits. All right. But let me go here. And this is where we're going to start today. Well, let's do this because I want to make sure that I'm going down. So we did the home page. So we've done that. We've talked about your feed. Okay. So we've talked about that. Let's go over here. This is the feed button. So this is the feed button. This is where you come in and it's going to bring up your last project or the last thing that you worked on. Here you've got your, which is an article that I did that was inside of my review video that I got from socialexaminer.com, and I had it to create a summary for me so that it could create this summary. Okay. So I had it to do that for me. Let me see what this was. All right, now let me show you something that that I did the other day. I took an article from a website because I actually have another YouTube channel where I talk about trending topics and I talk about abuse and scandal and all sorts of things, right? So I had it to come in here and I had it to generate a summary of what it was about, okay? And so I put this summary in here. Now, I normally will have this to do something different for me because as you can see, I put in here and it had the whole article in here. And so it put everything in here, right? So what I typically will do for something like this is I will actually give it a better prompt, and I'll show you guys that inside this video at a later point. Now, when I initially tried to do this as well, it told me that it wasn't rendering it, but it actually did render it. It rendered all of them. But for some odd reason, when I came in here and I was actually trying to do it, it said it didn't render. So if you ever notice that it says it didn't render, don't think that it didn't render it. You may have to close it out and come back because that's typically what it seems like it's been doing. All right. So it will tell you here what it is. It's an article. You will get the transcript here from that as well, and so it'll give you a summary of that. Okay, so this is your feed. Now you're going to have YouTube here, so if you had anything for YouTube, it'll be down here. If you've done any podcasts, articles, PDFs, documents, all of this stuff, audio, all of this stuff is going to be inside of your feed. So your feed is somewhat of the housing unit that has all of your stuff. Now your homepage is a little bit different from your feed. This is just where you can kick things off and you can start things off. But your feed is sort of tailor-made and designed for your specific stuff that you've got inside of there. So this would be considered your feed. Okay. Now you can change the look of your feed. You can come over here and change it to whether you want to have it like a book feed, side by side feed, sort of like that. You can also have it in a list. So you can list the feed down if you wanted to list it, or you could do it in content blocks. So you can even have it in content blocks if you like. Now, I typically like the book format because that way I can, literally just click on it and it'll give me the rundown of what I've got. Okay. So I typically like that sort of look to everything as far as when I'm working and doing my stuff. Okay. All right. So then, so just to keep online, we did our feed. All right. Now let's go over to the module settings. Let me make sure that I remember how to get over to the mod settings. I want to make sure that we're able to do that. All right. Now, when you come into your module settings, this is how you're going to set your mod, the model that you want to use. Now, you can use ChatGPT 5 Nano. You can use Grok, which is for fast non-reasoning, or you can use some of the DeepSeek version 3.1, DeepSeek version 3.2. Now, I'm just going to assume, I don't know this to be the case, but I'm assuming if you use some of those higher intelligent modules, they're probably going to take more credits. I'm not sure. I'll double check on that. And we'll maybe test that out during this particular video, but that's sort of the process with that. Okay. All right. So this is how you can manage your subscriptions. You can come over here for your credits and your usage. This will give you some information on credits and usage. If you guys remember, you had, this had a summary, and I did this one 22 hours ago. And this one also did a summary. Now, I don't know why this actually took 34 credits because, but this particular article took 34 credits. Why that is, I don't know. But yeah, so that one took 34 and this took 9 on the average one, though a lot of these articles are just taking very few credits. I'm not really sure why this took so many credits. But that's very interesting that I see that, but that's something that you'll want to make sure that you take a look at as well. All right. So then you have your summaries and settings here. This is your preferred language, your default tone, as well as the default detail level. This is where you can make it neutral, actionable, academic, conversational, or funny. If you wanted to do something detailed, simple, or comprehensive, you can use that as well. Now, this is where you can also come in here and you can put custom prompts in here. You you can create a prompt. Now, this is something that I'm going to most certainly do when I'm coming up with my summaries, because there is a specific way that I, as a content creator, like for my summaries to be detailed. First of all, I like to have mine in a bullet pointed list, but I also like to make sure that it's covering the who, what, when, where, and why. I need for all of my summaries to give me all of that breakdown so that I can concentrate on that and make sure that I get it in a very quick synopsis so that I can complete that whole process. So, and this is where you would put your custom prompts. Okay. Now, your notifications and settings here, this is where you can enable them. You can send a notification when it is through. You can also send it, you can push it to your mobile device if you want that to push you and just notify you on your mobile device, which is really key. Okay. You can also get an email summary, and you can get a mobile summary. I don't really need an email summary. That's not something that I need. You can also set your time zone. I had a little bit of trouble setting that in the beginning, but just work with it. It'll actually work with you. So that's no problem there. You can also schedule your notifications. So if you don't want to get a notification right away, you can schedule it when it sends you the notification. So you can do that also as well. All right. Now you can also earn income from this if that's something that you wanted to do. Sharing this with other people, you can most certainly do that. Okay. So let's just make sure we're keeping up with our list. So we did that. We talked about managing our subscription. Now, I don't know if we talked about credits and usage, but let me just go back over here. This is something that you'll want to watch. I do believe at some point you'll be able to purchase more credits, and I believe that you can do that under managed subscription, or somewhere. I think you'll be able to add more credits to your account. Right now I have about 3,000 credits because, that's more than enough for me, but you may need more credits than that. It depends on what you're doing. Plus I get 3 channels that are added to that. I'm assuming at some point or somewhere you can, and we'll find that you can add on some additional credits to that. But this is how you can get all of your credits, and you might be able to add credits from your phone too. I haven't looked into that yet, but we'll definitely check into that. Okay. All right. So we've done credits and usage. I think we've even talked about summary and settings. That was here where I went over the summary and settings. So we're going a lot faster than I thought. We also talked about custom prompts. I also went over with you the notification settings just now. We also talked about referring and making money. Now let's talk about asking follow-up questions. All right, let's talk about when you're asking follow-up questions to this software. All right, now I want to show you where you go to ask follow-up questions. If you're looking at this in your panel view, where you're going to go is you're going to click on View Full Summary. Once you click on Full View Summary, it's going to open up the article breakdown that it did. Okay, so you can come here to ask follow-up questions. So this sort of works and looks like a little bit like ChatGPT in a sense, because you can start to ask follow-up questions. Okay, and that way you can sort of flush out whatever it is that you are doing. Okay, so let me see. It says you can ask it anything here. Let's see if this will work. Let's see. Can you give me the who, what, when, where, and why based on this article in a bullet pointed list? All right, let's just see if it can generate it. Okay, and now this is what I would normally put inside of the prompt, and so, but we're just going to see what it can do here. All right. And normally I would tell you to make sure that you put the who, what, when, and where, and why inside of your prompt list. So that way you don't have to do this every time. It serves you best to do it that way. So that way you're not wasting time and you're able to just sort of concentrate on your content. Okay. All right. Now you guys can see it's actually doing that. All right. So it gave us a who, it gave us the what, and So it gave us the who and the what. Okay, now I know, and I think the reason why it only gave us the who and the what is because, it broke it down into a concise deal, but you would have to actually do that from the actual transcript. Okay, so here is the actual transcript, right? Uh, and we would probably have to uh, tell it based on the transcript. Okay, now here's how you can repurpose the content. It says bullet point summary generator. So you have one that's inside of here already. So if you click on this and you say generate content, so it already has a bullet pointed summary in there. So you don't even really need to create one. It's already in there for you. How about that? I didn't even realize that. I just discovered that with you guys. So that's pretty cool. So you only need to go in there and actually hit the repurpose content button and hit on bullet point the summary, and it's going to give you a bullet pointed summary of the whole thing anyway. All right. So, wow. Now look at this, guys. And you're going to get this bullet point summary that you can use. So when I'm doing my content, what I will typically do is I'll say, okay, what is this about? The main topic: a father's lawsuit seeks accountability from SBC or Southern Baptist entities after leaders for alleged failures to enable, and then it goes into the detail of this. And so you're able to get, now you got a pointed list that you can actually talk about, which is really, really cool. And so that's just going to focus in on the main topics. I like that. So that's something to remember when it comes to this software. So this software is pretty cool when it comes to that. So you can ask it all sorts of follow-up questions. Okay, so you got all sorts of questions that you can ask. Now let's go find. Let's get us back into the subscriptions feed. We want to go in here and actually subscribe to some content creators, and we want to put that inside of our software. All right, so here's how you're going to subscribe to software, and you're going to actually be able to browse channels. So what you're going to do is you're going to come down here. This is your home page. You're going to scroll down and you're going to hit browse channels. Once you hit browse channels, then you're going to be able to come here, and this is where you're going to be able to add some stuff. Now, I want to be clear about a couple of things. You see, you have something called auto enable summaries. Then you have sent to the email or the mobile. It also gives you the time zone, but it also, you can put this on a schedule. Okay, which is really, really cool. So let's say, for instance, you carve out a certain time of the day where you go to get content ideas, and you only want this to generate or to do this by a certain time. You can set it. Now, this is what happens when you're trying to be more efficient as a content creator. You're going to be able to do that. Now, what we're going to do at this particular point, we're just going to add some channels that I watch and that, that are important for me for business and so forth. And so we're going to go ahead and add some channels and see how we can get some summaries of these channels as well. All right, now I'm over on YouTube. Now I have a couple of different channels. Okay. One of my channels that I focus mainly on sort of trending topics and all sorts of things is a different channel. And so I'm going to show you guys first the channel that I have that's pretty much based on the software reviews, etc. And then we're going to be able to use that. And I'm going to show you how you can use that for your advantage. Now, I want to give you guys a word of advice. In this particular situation, what I typically try and do is only focus on the channels that I'm going to use to help me make money. Okay. So you have to understand, and only, in my opinion, only put channels in here that you're going to use to summarize, or that can help you make content better or enhance your content so that you can make more money. Okay. Don't just put channels in here just to put channels in here. Only put the channels in here that are going to help you make money, if that makes sense. Okay. So one of those channels, of course, in my niche is LearnWire. There's some other folks in here, and I'm going to go ahead and subscribe to these channels. And so I need for you guys to hang on, and I'm going to get this all done, and we're going to revisit it. All right. So what I did was I went ahead and added, some more credits actually to this account, and because what I found, I was limited to 3 YouTube channels that you can have summarized. So if you are someone who is constantly making videos and looking for video ideas and summaries, in your niche, you may want to change that. So I went ahead and added the channels that I wanted to add in here that I wanted to get some summaries of. And so that's what I went ahead and did. So that's already been done. And so I've added those channels. All right. And if you guys want to add any more channels, you just simply click on add channel, and then you're going to add that on there. But this is the key to this, is to auto enable the summaries, email, and so forth. So all of that is already in here. So we've already done that. Okay. So we've done the channel subscription feature. Of course, we've talked about the fact that it is multilingual and you can use that. I went over the audio feature in the other review, but I want to go here for just a second. Let's click on this. I don't know what language, why this is in a different language. That's interesting. Well, that's weird. It's supposed to be English. As you can see, it says English here. Thank you. All right. And so there you go. And we have the English here. And then as you can see, we have the button that says play audio. Okay. So this is how you're able to get it to read to you. Now, why that was in that foreign language, I don't know. But it just clicked on English again and went back and it did it. And you can see it does a comprehensive, simple, or detailed. And I did a detailed on all of my stuff. Okay. And so this is how you can keep up. And this is how you can get ideas for your videos and know what to do for your videos. Okay. So that's that. So that's the multilingual and the audio feature. The audio feature, you just simply press on the button to once you download it, and you can get it to play. Now, you do know you can use an audio file here. What you would simply just do is to paste a YouTube link or something like that, or you would just hit upload audio file here, and you would upload the audio file from there. Okay, so that's how you would use that. Okay, now let's talk about the collection feature. This is probably going to come in really handy for those of us who are like organizational nuts like I am. I really have to have like a succinct way of doing things. So you can actually create a collection, okay, to help you keep track of the videos and channels that you may want to revisit later. So you can create a collection title. I'm going to say Video Geek Squad Reviews. Okay. And we're going to use that. And then we're going to create a collection. Okay. So all of those sources for Video Geek Squad would go in here. Okay. And so that's where we're going to add it. And so you can add all of your collections here, and you can create a folder system where you can keep everything organized. Okay. Also, and that's really good in case you have like a project that you're doing, a specific project, you can put that inside of the project folder, and that'll help you. And that will help you if you're doing a multiplicity of videos and you have a couple of videos that you want to use to help you come up with another video. You could create a collection and use all of those inside of the collection. So that's the collection part of that. Let's see here. All right. And we did the audio provider. What's the audio provider? Hold on one second. Let's go back. Let me look at this one more time. I want to make sure that I'm looking at this right. All right, guys. Now this is where you're going to create audios, and you can create instant summaries of audios here, and you would just simply click on this button. Now I don't have any podcasts or anything I can add, but you can literally put in a podcast here and it will, give you the audio, so you can extract the audio from it. I don't typically do the audio, but you guys can do the audio. That's really helpful if you're doing a lot of listening as far as that part is concerned. That will be really good there. All right. So the connect YouTube feature, this is where you can actually connect the YouTube channels. Let me make sure I did this right. Yeah, this is where you would sync to YouTube, and you can get auto notifications already. import once and forget about copying and pasting links manually. Stay still confused, and then it'll give you a view guide on that. Okay. All right. So you can actually sync your YouTube channels, automatically get summaries for new videos from the favorite creators. And I think this is where you have to sync it. So that's where you're going to have to sync it. And I'm revisit this in a second because I want to make sure that we're doing that right. So that's that. You got a background summary play feature. That's the one that I mentioned to you before. And we've already done and looked at the custom prompts feature. So we've looked at all of the things inside of this software. So the only thing that we need to do is to really sync the YouTube thing. So let's go ahead and walk through that. Okay, now when you actually get those, you're going to have to actually sync them. You got to sync your YouTube channel. So you got to do that. Okay, so let me do this. We're going to have to go back and unsync all the ones that we synced. So hold on. All right. So this is how you're going to sync them. So you go here, you found that one. So we know we want to sync to that channel. So all of the channels that you're subscribed to, you can actually, when you sync it with your channel, it'll bring up all of the ones that you're already subscribed to. Okay, so that way you don't have to worry about that. And so I actually was doing it the harder way, and this actually is a lot easier. So a lot of the channels that you're subscribed to, you can just come here and it'll do all of the stuff for you. Okay, there's a couple of more channels I'm going to need to go subscribe to that I'm not subscribed to. So we're going to subscribe to these three. Okay, so we got those three. All right, and I think you could do it the other way too, but I think this is a lot easier for you to do it the way that I just did it. All right, guys, I was actually doing it right. I just went around it the wrong way. So I just subscribed to all the channels that I wanted to subscribe to get video summaries. And I only subscribe to the people that I'm going to use to sort of help me make more money. And so that's in whatever niche I'm doing. So that's what you need to be concerned about there. So, but you can push on Sync YouTube, this Sync YouTube button. When you click on Sync YouTube, you're going to import all of the YouTube channels in. You go ahead and use your Google email address. You attach it to the channel that you want it to sync with, or that you want to get the channels from, right? And you give it authorization, and bango bingo, then you got it. Okay. And then you can go down the list of all of the channels that you want to sync with. I've already added some, so I don't really need to do this. So this is a done deal for me. Okay, it's already in there. All right, and so pretty much that is going to conclude the TubeOnAI. We sort of walk through all of the features there. And if you guys have any other questions, please leave me a comment down below and I'll look in getting into some more features. Now, if you didn't pick up this software, there'll be a link down in the description for you. Also, if you want to find out about our office hours and coming over and learning how to use all of these tools to make more money, you can find the digital learn community link down in the description for you as well. All right. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.